So today I'm going to be restoring one of the very first tractors I ever bought. This is probably the first like 5 or 6 I've ever bought, and that was 2016. So today I'm gonna show you first the sketchy stuff that 13-year-old me would have done back then and kind of take a laugh at it. So first of all, we got bolts missing on the dash, and well, they've been missing for all this time. This bolt is painted green along with all of those because they're the same color as the frame. I didn't, take them out or anything. Kind of a bad tape job. I don't even think this lever, yeah, you can tell I didn't even take the lever off to paint it because if you move it back, there's the old paint underneath. I think I switched out the floorboards. It's supposed to have the ones that, kind of loop up to the fenders. I took them off and put these on it at some point because I needed those for another project. Has a Predator 212, which is, of course, one of the first engines I've ever bought, because that's all I had back then. I still buy these engines today. Exhaust has been loose for quite a few years, and if I remember right, that's how it was when I put it on there, and it's just, been leaking all the way around, and you can tell because all of the black. And then I never actually looked this way, even though I do run this tractor every month or so, that this clutch setup is about as sketchy as it gets. I have not really sure how this still works. So if you push the pedal in, it does, does work. So I'm assuming the original bracket was missing, and then I rigged this up, which is interesting. So we got one bolt holding this piece on back here, and then it's got various holes drilled in it, like there was multiple attempts. And then there's these 2 bolts that hold this other piece on here onto this. I'm not sure why this just doesn't go into here directly, but I don't know. So I'm going to make a new bracket to hold that on, and maybe even a battery tray like it's supposed to have. I'm going to keep this engine in here because it's what I have. I do have 2 15 horse 420s over there, but I'm saving those for more tractors I'm going to be getting coming up. Doesn't even have a hood support going from the front grille to the dash. And I think I know why this is broken, so that's unfortunate. Recently, I 3D printed a bunch of steering wheel caps, so this got one of those. I made like a year ago when I was originally going to restore this some new floorboards, so I have to drill a hole for the clutch pedal, and then those can go on. And then I think that's about it. So I'm going to set you up on a tripod, and we're going to start taking this apart. So I started by taking the 2 bolts off, holding the bottom of the front grille to the tractor. I already off camera got the hood support that goes above the dash taken off. Now I am pulling the side cover off the engine, which I just have on there with 1 bolt onto this Predator 212 engine. Now this engine is only mounted in there with 2 bolts, one in the front, one in the back. I guess that's all I did at the time, so it didn't take much to get it taken out. Then I got the throttle cable taken off, key switch, and now the engine can be lifted out. And I put a tire underneath the dash just to, keep the dash and the steering wheel from hitting the concrete. Now I can start taking apart the bottom side of the tractor, which is basically the linkages and stuff. First of all, I'm going to take the bolts out holding the floorboards, and then the lower deck bracket mid-mount attachment hangers. Now I'm just pulling the bolts out holding the frame together. This is probably not when you want to do this. You probably want to pull the clutch pedal apart first, but I always do this first for some reason. Now I'm pulling off the rear attachment hanger in the back there. Now I pulled the back tire off, and now it's time to pull off the back fender. As well as the 2 bolts holding the hitch plate on, and the parking brake lever. Now I'm working on getting the clutch pedal apart, which this was a lot easier than normal because at one point in time I took the original floorboards off of this and switched them out, so this normally takes probably half hour, 45 minutes, depending on how rusty the machine is you're taking apart, but this one didn't take very long. Now I pull off the front half of the frame, now that I got the clutch pedal taken apart. I'm pulling off one of the front tires, which the bearing on this was actually wore out inside the front wheel assembly. So I'm going to be replacing the front rims with different ones, and I'm going to switch out the front tires as well for the proper ones the SS12 is supposed to have. Now I'm taking the back tire off the transmission on the other side, taking the shifter knob off for the high and low range. I just use a channel locks, fairly simple. On this other one here, you got to use a locking pliers and a channel locks to get the knob off. You do end up gouging the knob a little bit, but I always rub some sandpaper on them, just freshens them up anyway. Now I use a special kind of longer pair of needle nose pliers to get the cotter pin out of the back, and make sure you set aside those little clips that hold the high and low range lever in place that I just showed you there. Now I am pulling the two front bolts holding the transaxle in place. I just pry that up just to keep my hand from getting pinched in there. So I got it all tore apart. I gotta pick up my mess yet, and then I'm gonna bring in some pallets so I can take the forklift, bring it over and pressure wash all of it, and then, you know, bring it back, probably organize everything, wire wheel stuff. I'm not really going in any particular order here, and then get ready for paint. It actually seems like all of the decals and tags and everything on this I'm just going to leave. Like, this plate is in really good shape. This dash is in really good shape. Here's one of my rare stickers that I only have a handful of. I used to send these out when I first started this YouTube channel back in 2015. And I think I stopped sending them out in like 2017 or so. So let me know in the comments if someone watching this has one of those. I'm curious. I got the hood over here. The decals on this, or the printing, is all in pretty decent shape. In the, you know, in the condition that, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, put a new sticker on top of it or anything. I'm just gonna leave it. Debating if I paint this hood or not. It is a little, you know, not great. It's a little crusty. But, I don't know. We'll see what it looks like on it and how nice the rest of the tractor turns out. All these fenders and everything are nice and straight. Nothing's bent or anything. So I'll probably end up painting the hood, even though it actually looks nice the way it is. But if the rest of the tractor, you know, looks basically like new and the hood, you know, has some flaws in it, I kind of would like to, you know, make that match. But we'll see. But that's going to be it for this video. Next video, it should be painted. And I'll be putting it together. And thanks for watching.